Funny, I have a neighbor who's 101 years old. Actually, I know a few people who are 101. And I said to myself, wow, like a lot of people, like, how the hell did they get to that? What's up, everybody? You're watching Wellness Week Live. I am your host, DJ Tony. And no, I am not a DR, I'm a DJ. So always check the healthcare professionals. Don't listen to me. Okay. But I want to talk today about, we see these old farts running around, these senior citizens. We see them running around and it's like, wow, dude, you're 90, 95, 100, 101. And I mean, I'm not talking about like 100, 101, like in a wheelchair on a ventilator. I'm talking about, I know someone who's 101 and she goes out to the mall, she goes shopping, she goes dancing, she works out. She's got a life. I mean, hears, sees, eats, takes care of herself. I mean, like, she's in better shape, honestly, than some 60-year-olds. So, so that's what the show's about. Hey, don't forget, if you like this content, you like this show, like, subscribe. Do it. Right here, right down here. Okay? Do it. All right. So, living to 101. How the hell are we going to do it? Now, listen, I know what you're saying, right? You're like, oh, Tony, I don't want to live to 101. Okay, you don't want to live to 101. So then kill yourself now then. I mean, how long do you want to live? Another year? 2 years? 3 years? Your retort's going to be, until I can't live anymore. I don't want to be in a wheelchair. But what if I told you can, with great odds, live to 101 and be healthy and be strong and be going out and shopping and hanging out and going to restaurants and bars and family events and like my friend, my neighbor. Why not? Would you take that? Of course you would. Why wouldn't you? I'm not saying live to 101 like sitting in your own shit. I'm not saying that. I'm saying living to 101 like actually a lot of Americans are, and thousands of people are across the world, particularly in blue zones, which is Greece, southern Italy, southern Japan, and I think it's Loma Linda, California. Forgive me for messing this up, but there's a spot in Southern California where centenarians, whatever you want to call them, they live to over 100. So why is that? And what can we do to help us live to a healthy old age? If it's not 101, maybe you're living a healthy, strong age till 80, and then you take a dirt nap. You know what I mean? Or maybe you're living to whatever, 90 or 100 or 103. So I think what I'm gleaning from this, and I've spoken to a lot of people who are 100 plus, and certainly I know a lot of people in their 90s, and like anybody, right? You ask them, hey, how you do it? How you do it? So that's what I'm here to tell you, because I spoke to them. I spoke to the 101-year-old lady, and she told me, here's the commonalities a lot of these people who are 100 plus have. Okay, now don't forget, they made it to 100 plus not overnight. It was through a lifetime of good, I know you don't want to hear the H word, healthy eating, healthy drinking, healthy living. I mean drinking, not alcohol. So here's some of the parallels and commonalities many, if not all, of these 100 plus year old people have. Okay, so through their whole lives, most of their lives, they ate vegetables every day. Okay, they ate fruits every day. When I spoke to this person, I asked her, I said, what's the key? And what do you eat and what do you do? She said, well, I don't eat a lot of junk foods, and meaning like 29 days of the month, there's no junk food. There's fruits and vegetables. There's no cake and no cookies and no sweet treats and no, sodas and no beers and no alcohol. So the other thing is they eat a lot of fruits, they eat a lot of vegetables, they eat a lot of fish. They have a lot of friends. And I'm not talking about family. They have a lot of friends. So they're making friends all the time. Most of us stop making friends after college or high school. These people who are 100 plus, they're very active in their friendships, meaning face to face, not just texting, but they're getting out. They're meeting with their group, whatever the group is. It could be a social municipality group. It could be a church group, a synagogue group. It could be a knitting group. Whatever it is, they got friends, and they make new friends all throughout their life in their 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s. So that's another commonality a lot of these 100 plus old people have. The other thing is they're always moving. They're not couch potatoes. They all have this common thread. People who are 100 plus, they didn't start walking at 100. They've been walking their whole lives, meaning even if they have a job that's very physically active, they add another hour onto that of walking. But there's a lot of walking. You know, there's not a lot of drive through. There's not a lot of sitting and you know, binge watching shit. There's a lot of getting up. And another thing a lot of these people had is they didn't join gyms. So it wasn't a thing of money. Most of these people don't join gyms. Most of them are just up and walking every day for an hour plus a day, either through exercise or other things. So always moving. The other thing is sleep. They tend to get good sleep and about 8 hours. People who are 100 plus, most of their life. That's how they get to the 100. They don't drink alcohol typically. My neighbor and even my grandparents who made it to their early 90s, you know, maybe Christmas or a birthday, little thoughts, you know, little something, little you know, wine. But yeah, they were nope. Alcohol is not part of the daily or weekly life. Certainly no sodas, no iced teas, no sweet drinks, no candy, no fried foods. These are the things that are not in their homes. Sure, they would eat these things maybe if they went out, but in their homes, what I found out is people in their hundreds or, you know, 90s, you know, they don't have shit food. They don't have fried foods. They don't have a lot of bread. They don't have a lot of cakes. They don't have a lot of bagels in their home. They don't have that. It's, again, fruits, vegetables, fish, you know, maybe meats, pork, chicken, yeah, sure. But there's not a lot of processed carbs. There's a lot of natural carbs they're getting from vegetables. The other thing is some had pets. Some had, most of them had some type of spiritual life, not necessarily religious per se, but they believed in a higher power. And yes, some did, like my grandmother and my grandfather lived into their, you know, 90s. They were, you know, fairly religious, but they also had a pretty rich friendship life. I think that's very, very also common with people who are in their 90s and 100s. They're active in the sense of, again, they're getting it together face to face. They're talking, you know, and so those are the things that I've gleaned and I found out through people who are 100 plus. You get like that through a good life, a healthy, clean life. You're not eating sweets. You're not drinking sweets. You're not drinking alcohol. Certainly not smoking. Or if you smoke, you stopped decades ago. You're getting daily exercise. You don't have to run a marathon. And also, I found out that a lot of these people who are 100 plus, they're not excuse makers. You know, a lot of these people who are 100 plus have been through very, very dark times, very, very devastating times, loss of loved ones, loss of children, health, you know, battles with their own health and others, and a lot of hardship in their life. And they don't say, oh, my genes, or oh, it's this or that. They're not finger pointers. People who make it to 100 plus, they're usually people who are like, yep, bad things happened and make the best of it, and you know, you march on. That type of mentality usually makes it a healthy life and usually makes it to 100 plus. Again, a healthy 100 plus. I would say too, none of these people who I talked to who were 100 plus talked about genes. I don't think anybody said anything about genes. So to someone who would say, oh, it's all in the genes, that's a cop out. No, it's not all in the genes, because again, I just said these people, all of them who made 100 plus, went through a lot of health problems in their life. But the commonality was fruits, vegetables, fish, nothing fried, no alcohol, no sweet drinks, no you know, excessive bagels and pasta bread. They didn't do that. A lot of fish and vegetables and fruits, nuts, things like that. Good sleep, good relationships. You know, drinking a lot of water. That's the thing. So genetics has little to nothing to do with it, because they all had breakdowns in their life, physically, mentally, spiritually. So, you know, it's really a thing called epigenetics, because if you say, oh, it's genetics, all that's saying is you have a switch. Yeah, but did you turn the switch on or off? Epigenetics is turning the switch on or off. So if you have a genetic disposition for something, even more the reason you should be eating healthy, taking care of yourself, because you want to make sure that switch doesn't get turned on to cause a particular disease. But again, these people had certain diseases and they still overcame because of their healthy lifestyle. So I want that for you. You deserve the best. And this is not about torturing yourself. This is about having a quality life, being sick far less, being stronger, being happier. What we eat, what we drink can either boost our mood or hamper our mood. Alcohol destroys our immune system. Alcohol destroys our bone. Alcohol destroys our muscle. Alcohol destroys our brain function. There's nothing good about alcohol. Nothing. Zero. And, I'm not saying don't have a toast. I'm not saying, someone gets married, have a toast. But if you're doing it weekly, you're hurting yourself. Obviously, same thing with the shit food, the cake and the cookies and the chips. My thing is, look, have it once a month, 29 days of the month. You're putting premium fuel in your body, the Ferrari. You're going to feel happier. You're going to feel healthier. You're going to be stronger. And that's how you make it to 101. Granted, of course, a meteorite doesn't hit you in the head. But anyways, you deserve the best. I want the best for you. You can do it. I can do it. We can do it. Step at a time. Don't do it cold turkey, but you deserve the best. And the best is yet to come, okay? So, hey, like, subscribe. Thanks, everybody. DJ Tony, over and out. How do I get out of here? Let me see. Oh, here it is. 5, 4, 3, 2,